go.
Oh my god.
Look at this, folks. Wait, come
No.
back, Nina.
No, we were blocking traffic, so.
Oh,
that's
okay.
kind of a
Please
thing.
don't do that.
All right, here.
We'll
here
put them
here we
back
are.
on.
There we are. We got the whole crew now.
Oh, look at Carol. So
Yeah.
sweet.
She survived. She survived my babysitting weekend.
Oh, I didn't know you were doing that.
Yeah, well, Nina was out of town this past weekend. You were.
I was at this women's retreat where I was hanging out with a ton of old ladies and like skinny dipping in a lake, and
That sounds
I don't know.
sick.
Yeah, it was great.
It's like
What
that's
was
the
the
way
best
about.
part?
Oh,
What was the best part?
Yeah.
The lake.
Skinny
Also,
dipping.
they had really good food.
Getting fucking
A lot
nude
of,
with the lasses.
Old ladies, like 88-year-old ladies.
Oh,
was
sick.
oh my god!
Hell
It's like
yeah.
the Coven. You know, the Conjuring 2. What are these horror movies? It's like that kind of thing. But Nina you were kind of throwing shade on their guacamole.
Hello.
Seasoning in it. They didn't have any salt or anything in it. Hi, Mike.
I'm like,
Who's guacamole?
these 80-year-old ladies from Wisconsin were not making sufficiently fire guacamole to Nina's taste.
It's the wrong dish.
You gotta have salt in there.
I bet you if they would have made like one of those Jell-O salads, it would have slapped.
Yeah. Do you think that would be crazy? You know, like if just like people in like the 40s and stuff talk the way we do, you know, or like the kids do, they'd just be like, yeah, this
Jell-O's fire. Taste this fire Jell-O.
This hot dish was busting for real.
This lutefisk will blow your tits off.
Honestly, when Jell-O first came out, they must have been fucking shitting their pants.
Dude,
literally.
Dude, when I first figured out what Jell-O was, I was shitting my pants.
Yeah.
I was like, this thing jiggles and I don't feel full after I eat it and it's sugar?
When was Jell-O invented?
Pull it up. Wasn't it like whale bones or something weird like that?
Cow ligament.
It's made with like, you know, animal byproducts, right? The
Ligament.
collagen or
Ligament.
gelatin?
Ligament says Tor.
Yeah, this is definitely a Tor Lane kind of thing.
Yeah,
sorry, I'm trying to finish eating really quick.
One of the first conversations I ever had with Tor was about the history of graham crackers.
Oh yeah, the anti-masturbation tool.
And we were very drunk.
That's pretty good.
We were very drunk, and I was like, this is a compelling fella.
Is that why Zach is anti-graham cracker for s'mores?
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, didn't you guys end up using like Triscuits for s'mores or something?
Yeah, this explains
appalling?
something.
I use like mini brioche toasts, which I thought was an upgrade, personally.
I don't think so, Zach. I feel like you need the graham cracker. You need I mean, I've heard of s'mores with like chocolate chip cookies, but I don't know if the brioche toast is going to make the cut, Zach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You need sweet, Zach. You need artificial sweet.
In Australia, they do this thing. Have you heard about it? The fairy
I just want
bread.
to say Zach also wanted to use like Aldi, like snowman, like Santa chocolates from like a year before. He was just trying to get rid of all of the like old shit in his pantry.
Drag him, Nina. Drag him.
Zach,
I need to stop for Hershey's.
Well, you can't. There we go. Here we go.
What's wrong with the Santas? They need to be used.
Yeah, but
what do you got there?
One part of the s'more to be traditional.
Yeah,
kind of a butter cookie.
Oh no!
Speaking of the cookie, man.
Speaking of cookies.
Hey, Dad, can I ask you a question?
Shoot.
Okay, so if you're making a s'more, the go-to obviously is graham cracker, correct?
Well, I never liked those things, even when I was a kid. But yeah, graham cracker.
We agree with each other. I agree with Joe here.
But he agrees graham cracker. Would you use like a brioche? Would you use a saltine cracker, Dad, for a s'more?
I wouldn't, but then again, I wouldn't eat a s'more.
Oh.
Now there's the take.
A saltine could
That's
add
the
a
take.
nice flavor. Like salt enhances flavor. It could bring out some.
Ooh, that's a good point.
That's true.
Sweet.
Kind of like a peanut butter and mustard sandwich.
That sounds like something Zach would eat.
Yummy.
I mean, it's a different flavor profile, but yeah,
I'm into that. Yeah.
Dad, what's going on? Are you in a cave or where are you right now?
Well, before you get into this thing, it said proper lighting makes you look fantastic.
Yeah, this is great.
So I'm just in my dark little room here. I've had a long day. I kicked my own ass at the gym this morning, and then for the first time in my life, I got rolfed this afternoon.
What's getting rolfed?
Well, picture, you've had a deep tissue massage, right?
Yeah.
Well, picture one of those times 10.
So you're just getting crushed.
Yeah, basically, yeah. But I'm kind of at my wit's end with the pain, so I'm giving it a try. And it did seem to have helped. I mean, maybe it's just the fact that I was in such intense pain while it was happening.
What's going on, Mr. Lester? You got body ache, back pain, knee pain?
Oh, growing old ain't for sissies, young fellas. And I'm going on 64. I'm almost 64, and very few of those years have been easy ones.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I drove a city bus for almost a quarter century, and you wouldn't think it, but that's a job that's really hard on you.
It's so much sitting.
Well, and then it's repetitive stress, like what's really most painful on me right now is my right shoulder. And it's just nuts. But like I said, the rolfing hurts so much. I think that now that it's stopped, I just feel better.
Would you ever try stem cells, Dad?
No.
Why not?
And I'm not going to stick my pee-pee in a blender either. But
that's what stem cells are to you.
stick my pee-pee in a blender? No. I mean, I'm pretty. God made me. This is me. This is what God made. So
God made me to be in pain.
Well, okay.
What else is going on, Dad?
Well, I'm back at the gym again finally, which is kind of nice. I joined this place called Fitness Evolution, and I have to get there at 6:30 in the morning, or it fills, so I can work out till 8, and then at 8 o'clock, man, it's like they must send hunter-killer teams out to the parking lot to drive people in, because the place just gets packed at 8, and then I leave.
Yeah. What are your exercises you're doing?
Bicep, tricep, chest, lats, shoulders, waist of all kinds. And I walked. I get my leg exercise by walking there. It's about a mile each way.
Tor, you got any shoulder stuff you could recommend for my dad to alleviate maybe some shoulder stretches, Tor?
Oh God. Is it do you have separated shoulders, or is it what kind of pain are you having?
It's just wicked pain. I just, the range of my right arm is down to very little. But the thing is that while I work out and while I hike, while I do things like that, the pain is negligible. But when I stop,
Motion is the lotion.
Adrenaline from working out, or endorphins from working out that are kind of dulling the pain.
Well, the Taoist masters say that our perception of pain is the stagnation of chi due to tension or trauma. So I think while I'm actually in motion, the chi is being forcibly redistributed. But when I stop, it's pooling around those areas of tension and trauma.
So do you think I think maybe just like more simple movements and like less weight would probably help, but again, I'm not I've never had problems with my shoulders. I have like problems everywhere else. My shoulders are hanging in there strong.
Well, give yourself a couple more years, buddy. I have faith in you.
Exactly. Oh God, it's deteriorating fast. I tell you. I like pulled a muscle getting out of my car yesterday. I was so mad at myself. Like I got out, I grabbed the pizza. I got out with like the pizza in hand, and then just cramps, and I almost dropped the pizza because of it. It was ridiculous. I'm sorry. I just housed like a whole thing of pad thai in like 5 minutes, and I am lethargic. My chi is pooling in my stomach, and it is not.
It's surging towards your stomach.
Hopefully, I'm hoping to jar it loose with this giant cup of coffee, though. That should really help.
Yeah, pad thai and coffee. That's the perfect combo for chi.
I gotta be awake for this. I gotta have energy.
You're gonna be blasting chi all over the toilet bowl in about a half hour.
One of my housemates yesterday said he thought I was drinking too much caffeine, so I shot him.
With what?
12 gauge.
Yeah.
Cut him in half.
Yeah.
Well, hold
on. Where'd you get those cookies? Where'd you get those cookies?
Fred Meyer.
Nice.
Was this a tangible housemate you shot, or maybe like did the bullet kill him?
My dad.
No, I didn't shoot anybody, but I did look at him and I said, I don't understand your statement, man. What?
I don't like that. I don't like when people out of nowhere, because like that, it was unprompted, right?
Yeah. Well, I was just pouring out one of those Ghost energy beverages, and I mix it with grapefruit juice. Anyway, so the same guy, I'm going to the gym this morning, and the same guy says, "Man, I got a half a pot of coffee in the kitchen. Go ahead, man." And yesterday he's telling me I'm drinking too much caffeine, and today he offers me half a pot of light roast.
Maybe he feels bad. Maybe he feels bad for what he said. He's trying to bury the hatchet with some coffee.
That was his piece.
No, he gave me a foot massage last night, so we're good.
Did he give you a foot massage?
Maybe.
You blur the lines, man.
What's your Ghost energy flavor? What's your flavor?
Well, I like sour anything. I think the ones I got now are sour raspberry.
Ooh,
I just had the sour apple one like 2 nights ago.
Well, I like those too. I either have the raspberry or the sour apple.
Tor's like looking into a mirror right now.
Look, we like sour drinks. There's not enough sour drinks out there. Okay, I feel like sour drinks is an untapped market.
Well, we do kind of look alike, don't we? I think I look more like the Cabbage Patch doll, but
you would be a great Cabbage Patch doll.
Yeah,
I think so.
The weird wood Cabbage Patch doll.
When I was still driving a bus, everybody called me, my coworkers called me the gnome because I look like a garden gnome. And they even bring me little gnome statues at Wiles, And I do kind of look like a garden gnome,
Garden gnomes are adorable.
They're eco-friendly.
And they're a lot of times they're
I don't know. The only person I want to see making love to a beautiful woman is myself.
Yeah, that's a nice sentiment.
That's why I got no use for porn. It's not because I have a moral standard or anything. It's just why would I want to, Why don't I see some other guy having sex with a beautiful woman? It just makes no sense to me.
Yeah,
Now, if I were starring in the porno flick, that shit I'd watch.
You just got to set up a mirror strategically in your bedroom, and then it works.
Now
okay.
I've been asked to strike the talk from the
This is real.
That's why we record and aren't live.
But what Mike said is real, though.
I told you, man. Isn't that odd? And it's like a lot of people don't know about it that have gnomes in front of their houses.
On a side note, the G key on my keyboard has stopped working, and it is getting frustrating to get around.
So you can't Wikipedia gnomes.
Well, I can. I just have to like get it close enough to autocorrect. But garden, there's too many G's in garden gnomes. It's an Arden gnome, and that's apparently a real business.
I think we can keep the gnome talk in. We can keep the gnome talk in. Just the bat.
I got you. We got you, man. We're steering towards gnomes. Yeah, deep gnomes. What are they called, Belly? Deep Svither Billy or whatever.
Svrbnebly. Those are deep gnomes of the Underdark. A sub-race of gnomes.
Dad, you kind of look like one of those right now. You're in the dark.
I look like a dark gnome? Or?
Yeah. You look like one of the dark underbelly gnomes.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. Well, I think if I were a dark gnome, according to what you guys have said, I'd be having sex a lot more often.
They're actually very solitary creatures, as far as I know. There's one thing that's been going down with me that I'm really, really happy about. I've been hosting the AA meetings at the Juvenile Detention Center here in Bellingham.
Are you kidding me? How's that?
Are you scaring straight some kids?
Say that again.
Are you scaring straight some kids? Like they bring you in to really like set the kid, get the kids' lives back or like on track?
Well, I did end up in prison when I was 19, and I ended up in prison because of something I did while I was drunk.
What did you do?
I got into a knife fight with this dude over in Germany.
Oh, so a German prison, or did they send you back to the?
No,
States?
They sent me back to Fort Leavenworth Military Jail.
Did they send you to the Dachau? What's that called?
No, Dachau was the name of a concentration camp.
Not even in Germany, Mike. In Poland. What was the argument over? Do you remember?
No, I think Dachau wasn't Germany. I think you're talking Auschwitz / Treblinka was in Poland. Of course, I could be wrong.
You might be right. I was always was led to believe like they were almost all in Poland, but
no, just the biggest
at the time.
Just the biggest, most productive one was in Poland.
Oh, okay.
So, Dad, when you do these Beyond Scared Straight AA meetings, have you gotten any kind of like kids like chirping you, or kids like, or are they receptive? Are they respectful, or are they like, I'm not going to listen to you?
Well, they don't have to be there. They don't have to be there. The ones that show up are there because they want to be there. And they're attentive and respectful, and they give great foot massages.
You're hitting up your AA sponsorship.
What is this? Is this code? Is this another code?
No, this is he's blurring the lines, folks. He's just blurring the line.
I have something. Well, speaking of blurring the lines, what do we think of this? I pulled up the deep gnome.
Yeah, that looks like my dad. Go to that second one.
Yes, can you make it that one?
Yeah.
Ooh. He does not look like he was breastfed.
Yeah, a lot of foot massages.
He does not have that breastfed as a child look. No. So kind of looks like Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
The story with this character, this is one of my favorite fantasy characters. a slightly spoil alert, but he was attacked. His party of deep gnomes was attacked by dark elves, the drow elves, and they cut off his hands. So then his society, his community, like welded a hammer and pickaxe where his hands were, to honor him.
So he could work.
Anyway,
You don't really realize.
Cat must be very careful when he wipes.
I was just gonna say that too.
Yeah, you never really. I'm always like, with all that like fantasy stuff, they never really get into like the bathroom, like with the situation with the bathroom, like where's the plumbing in the Underdark?
that's true. That's
But-
a good point.
You never really realize how formidable a weapon is, like a pickaxe is, until you see it up close. Like I was clearing out like my grandpa's house, we came across a pickaxe, and I was like, "Wow, I'm gonna put this in my car." So if anything shady goes down on a delivery,
Do you have a pickaxe in your car now, Tor?
Yeah, I got a pickaxe.
You talking like one of those fireman's axes?
No, like a big pickaxe,
Like a mine,
like
mining.
it's like one hand's like sharp, or one side's like kind of like sharpened to a point. The other has kind of like a weight on the other end of it. It's just big.
You talking about a pickmatic?
Maybe.
I think we know it's a pickaxe, Dad. A pickaxe.
Pickaxe.
Well, like a fireman's axe. It's got a point on one side and a blade on the other.
Sure. Yes. Exactly.
Boy, there got to be people lining up to dig on this content.
Absolutely. We're talking pickaxes. What more could you want?
And dark gnomes.
I was led to believe that it's actually like illegal to have like an axe in your car, because that's what I had for a while. But then like if like you get pulled over and like, what's this, and you don't have like you didn't say like I'm going to chop down a tree, that could be like construed as like just having a weapon or something.
Can you have a hatchet though? Could I like wear a hatchet on my belt?
Ooh, I like that.
I want to start doing that.
Oh, I don't know. I carry a baseball bat in the back of my vehicle.
That's
Yeah,
a
but
cop
you can-
one.
You can just say you're going out to hit dingers, Dad.
I'm going out to hit who?
Dingers.
Zingers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Dad, when you prep for these, is there any prep for these AA meetings with the youth, or are you just freeballing it?
Well, I'm pretty up on the literature, and I got good sponsorship, and let's face it, man, I know all kinds of shit about being an alcoholic.
What's your
all kinds of shit.
Zach, you missed it. My dad's now leading AA meetings with troubled youths.
Oh, with you, how old?
Oh, they're between the ages of 14 and 19. I think once they're 20, or maybe as high as 20, because it's the juvenile detention center.
Oh.
All right, well, say Zach is like a guy coming to you for help. He's
Yeah.
out of control. His like what's the first thing? Like, how do you open with?
Let me give you more backstory though, Dad, so you can really frame it. Like Zach, say he's been going a little too hard on the weed, right? And he'll go to parties and like smoke weed and pass out and not remember like what he says or does and
Must be killer weed.
Yeah. Well, what would you do for someone like that? What would you do for someone like that, Dad?
Well, you remember Bob Schill?
Yeah, I remember Bob.
Well, he went, and well, shoot, I shouldn't have mentioned his name. Oh,
I can cut
we'll
that
just
too.
call him Bob. But he was my sponsor, and he said all those other drugs were just freeze-dried alcohol to him. And his drug of choice is, what do you got?
Okay.
So, I mean, I think addiction is addiction. What your drug of choice is. I mean, I'm an addict whose drug of choice is alcohol. How about that?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's kind of a soul sickness, and it gets worse because you because of your soul sick. Well, just speaking for myself,
Mhm.
I never liked being inside my own skin. I was taught from an early age that I was a pretty worthless human, and I never liked being inside my own skin. So I drank so I did not have to be me.
Yeah.
And I drank and I drank and I drank till I picked up the allergy. And anybody that uses anything, habitually, they will pick up an allergy. I don't care if it's drugs, alcohol, gambling, porn, whatever. If you use it habitually, you will pick up the allergy.
You hear that, Zach?
Yeah.
So wait, is that like an actual like you get like your body will start to become allergic to alcohol? Like your body starts to reject it or whatever?
No, that's not exactly the way it works. Now, when I drink a handle of 80 proof and at least a 12-pack a day. That's what I do. That's my nut. All right?
Like a 12-pack of beer?
And a 1 point and a handle every day.
12-pack of beer, no eggs, Zach. Yeah.
No wonder you got
Or it
body
could be
problems that you're
cigarettes.
working through.
And a handle. And we all know what a handle is. It's a 1.75 liter bottle of the creature.
Yeah,
It's
so
a
you
big
were
jug.
almost killing yourself.
It's a no belly. That's his nut belly. Let him finish.
Okay, allow me to finish, please. And all the years I was doing this, on all the thousands of times that I drove drunk, I never got a DUI. I didn't stagger when I walked. My speech was always comprehensible. I mean, always, right?
Well,
But that's the amount. Well, shut up. Anyway, but that's enough alcohol to kill the average person. Okay, so I was sober for 3 years, from 2003 till 2006.
Good
Not a drop for 3 years. And when I fell off the wagon, within 3 days, 72 hours, I was drinking a handle and a 12-pack a day.
Do you remember?
That's an allergy. That's the allergy. And once you pick it up, you get to keep it.
That is like Major League Baseball level. Like you are like a professional athlete of drinking. That's but do you remember what
Joey Chestnut
had you fall off the handle? Was it anything in particular, or you just one day you're like,
I remember when you fell off.
I thought I was going to lose my house because of some family court issues.
Oh, I see.
And it was just an excuse. It was just an excuse. I still didn't like being in my own skin, so I used it as an excuse to start drinking again.
Oh, that was kind of a downer question. I didn't mean that.
No,
I do not mind talking about this stuff at all, because sobriety is the most important thing in my life.
Okay,
Same
cool.
here.
Because without sobriety, I'm not going to have a relationship with my kids. I'm not going to be saving any money. I'm not going to be driving around a free man. So it is the most important thing in my life, and I go to lengths to protect that sobriety. I mean, every morning when I roll out of bed, the first thing that hits the floor are my knees. And I say my prayers, I say the 3rd step prayer, the 7th step prayer, the 11th step prayer. Now, that 11th step prayer, that's fucking depressing. It's the prayer of St. Francis, right? And to me, it seems about as attainable as catching a cab to my condominium on the moon.
Okay. For those of us in remedial Bible studies, can you refresh us on the nature of the prayer?
Well, the prayer of St. Francis isn't in the Bible. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there is hatred, I may bring love. Where there is darkness, I bring light. May I bring light. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is sadness, joy. God grant that I may seek rather to comfort than to be comforted, to understand than to be understood, to love than to be loved, for it is by self-forgetting one finds It is by forgiving one is forgiven, and it is by dying one awakens to eternal life. So, like I said, it seems about as attainable as catching a cab to my condo on the moon. But, that's no reason to stop saying the prayer.
But
That's such a dark gnome prayer too.
But no, I don't see it as dark. It seems pretty aspirational,
No, but that's
the
what
dark
I mean.
gnome culture.
I think the word you were looking for is inspirational. Aspirate is when you throw up.
I mean,
you are being schooled right now.
So inspirational.
Take him to class, Dad.
Yeah.
JoJo Guns, take him to class.
So, but like, what is depressing about it? I guess
no, there's nothing to. Well, the thing is that I'm surprised. I even said it out loud because even when I'm praying it to myself, I'm going, "Oh God, you gotta be fucking kidding me, man."
Do you think Jesus thinks it's cringe?
Jesus, Yeshua?
Yeah.
Oh no, not at all. But then again, he got a handle on it in one life,
Yeah, Jesus is kind of a soy boy if you think about it.
Well, I call him. His name was Yeshua. They started calling him Jesus somewhere around the 11th or 12th century, but his name was Yeshua, which is Hebrew for Joshua.
Mm-hmm.
So Yeshua is Jesus and Sabe is Bigfoot.
Yes.
Enrico Suave is my favorite Latin artist.
I'm reading through the Prayer of St. Francis right now.
Bad Bunny's pretty good too.
It was pretty good. Like I think what you were getting at was that like it's hard to attain. Like it's kind of making all these proclamations like where there is injury, pardon, where there is doubt, faith, where there is despair, hope. It's a list.
Well, the real heavy stuff is seek to rather to understand than to be understood. Like, what? What? Yeah, that's like a complete negation of the self, man. That's like an utter collapse of the ego, and I'm an arrogant human, man.
Yeah, who isn't though?
It's kind of rough. Joe, can I ask you something about I've heard you used to like to mix vodka and milk together. Was that one of your drink of choices?
Well, vodka or whiskey, either one.
But with
whiskey milks.
But you never heard of a White Russian?
I have, and I tried to make it one time with like cheap vodka and like chocolate milk, and it was it destroyed me.
When you're drinking 1.75 liter or 80 proof a day, it's it's really helpful to mix it half and half with milk. Otherwise, you shit your guts out.
Oh. So the milk kind of curdles it in your stomach and makes it a little more solid.
I just kind of lies. It's something for your stomach other than the turpentine you're pouring down your gullet.
Gotta get something.
But yeah, I used to. I had every trick in the book to being able to maintain my nut, and I used to buy those big bottles of generic Imodium, those 180 tablet bottles, right?
Oh, God.
I'd be eating those things like M&Ms all day long. I'd probably eat 20 a day of those generic Imodiums. Just so I didn't have to, be married to the commode.
To maintain your nut.
So
maintain that nut, baby. You betcha.
I'm ignorant here. Can someone explain what Imodium is?
It's anti-diarrhea medication.
Yeah, it's like just like quiet stomach.
But I couldn't buy the name brand. I had to get the generic, and I'd find
crunching 20 a day. Yeah.
Yeah, and if I found a place that actually had them in stock, I'd buy every bottle they had.
Do you think you might have developed an allergy to the Imodium?
Was that like a sub nut?
A sub addiction?
Yeah. Did you?
Well, it made it possible for me, like I said, to get my nut every day. So I don't know. I mean, if you call that I don't know.
AM.
Maybe.
Interesting.
But that's neither here nor there, you know.
Yeah.
But these kids at the juvenile detention center, that, you know, I'm supposed to go there twice a month, but I've been going every Wednesday.
Wow.
Because it's just cool. Because like I said, the kids that show up, they don't have to be there. They want to be there. They got some fear, you know, that's cooking in their brains, you know, and they need the straight scoop. And if anybody can give them the straight scoop about addiction, it's me. I have got a 10th degree black belt in addiction.
You're a retired professional athlete of drinking.
Well, yeah, you know, you curl at 1.75 often enough, you know, you get huge biceps.
Dad, when did you realize that 1.75 in a 12-pack was like your nut? Like, when did you realize, like, and what did it take to get to the point where it was like, this is what I need every day?
Well, here's the deal. I lost my job in 2010, right?
Yes.
So from about 2000 on, I could only do that, get the full nut on the weekends. And on the weekday or the days I worked, you know, I could get maybe half of that in, you know. But here's another good story. I mean, you know, at Metro Transit, they had an 8-hour from bottle to throttle rule. I mean, you don't touch a drop 8 hours before you get on that bus and fire it up, right?
Oh.
So I'd have a 1-quart jar, half full of whiskey or vodka and half full of milk, and I'd be looking at my watch, and I would wait until there was 1 minute until 8 hours, and I'd pound that quart down.
So you kind of tried to loophole your way into it?
Blurring the lines.
I don't think that's blurring the lines. That's pretty accurate.
That's a hard line. That's true.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. I mean, I used to do stuff like that with weed and stuff.
Well, you know, and then eventually I started missing so much work because I'd wake up shaking in the morning because I had to have more alcohol. So I'd be calling in sick. And that's what cost me my job after almost 25 years. I mean, and they love me down there. Damn, Joe, we're sorry, but you're fired, you know.
They had a nickname for you and everything. It's
Well, you know, if I were them, I have no ill will because if I were them, I would have fired my ass long before they did.
Yeah,
before they did.
We had a driver that had a bit of a drinking problem. We had to get rid of him before it just like it ended in tragedy. He's in rehab now, which is good. I checked up on him.
Oh, that's awesome.
This poor kid, like this manager got him into cocaine, so he was just doing coke. Like he came up to me one day and he's just like, "You ever get like those bruises that you don't know where they came from?" And I was like, "No, not really." And he was just like, "Yeah, well, I kind of have the system where I'm able to like offset drinking like the booze with cocaine." And I was like, "He's playing like Red Dead Redemption or something." And I was just like, in my brain, like outwardly, I was just like, "Yeah, man, I you know, you got to be careful with that." But inside, I was like, "Dude, you're so young. Don't do this to yourself." But he's doing well. He's in rehab now, so. Whew.
Oh, I get you. You mentioned blurring the lines just a couple minutes ago. When I was an adult, when I was driving a bus, a nationally renowned psychiatrist by the name of Richard Lentz said, "You know, I think you might be ADHD." And what? Attention deficit hyperactive disorder. So first off, the guy gives me a test. And if you are ADHD, I mean, why give you a 2,000 question test? You know, I think he might, you know, why do that? So I take this test, and he said, well, Joe, you're definitely ADHD. And I said, well, Dr. Lentz, because I'm dubious, I said, how closely do I match the criteria? And he said, Joseph, my boy, you're the poster child. So he gives me a prescription for Ritalin. And I take that Ritalin and I feel like I was walking through Jello, right? So I didn't take it very much, but I always keep, a few in my pocket. And if I felt like it and I was driving a bus and I'd get to the end of the line, I'd run into a restroom and I'd crush them up and snort them.
Damn, I never knew that.
Yeah.
I want to go back to that.
Would that help? Like, would that give you a high or just like let you? Why? Yeah.
Would that help get to your nuts?
Yeah.
It was like a tranquilizer.
Oh, so you really do have ADHD then?
Yes, sir.
I never knew that, Dad.
But probably crushing up 6 of them and snorting them at the end of the line when you're driving an articulated bus full of people down the freeway during rush hour might be blurring the line a little.
I want to go back to that 2,000 question test. That is actually the ideal way to test for ADHD because you have to get through like 2,000 questions focusing. Like that was probably the test. Was like how many times you were like, hey, how many more fucking questions are there?
No, they give it to you all at once. There's no suspense to it. They handed me this thing, it reads like the Minneapolis phone book, and I don't know, I think it took me like 4 hours or something, but I was like talking to my dead ancestors.
What were the questions like? Like, what was it like on a scale of like, how do you relate to this? Blank, blank, or blank? Or was it like multiple choice or?
They were all multiple choice.
Yeah. Do you remember any of the questions?
Not a one.
ADHD, man.
Not a one. But I could tell when they were rephrasing the same question. I caught all of those.
Was it?
Are
you sure this guy wasn't just a Ritalin salesman? They're just,
Well, back in the day, doctors. Before society got wise, doctors were drug pushers.
Yeah.
They were.
They
I
still
remember.
are, I think. But
I broke my neck in 2000. And it was like 90 days after the surgery. And
your body, you've taken trauma of like 100 men. What is happening?
But check it out. The surgery turned out wonderfully. It was a miracle how well it turned out. And it's 90 days, 3 full months after the surgery. And the doctor says, do you need any more OxyContin? And I'm just one of these people who, if it pops into my head, it tends to vomit out of my mouth. And I said, well, I never needed them, but they sure are fun. And you know what he did? Gave me 180 more of them. They lasted me almost 5 days. Cut my whiskey budget. Cut my whiskey budget in half.
How did you take 180 OxyContin? Is this a line blur?
Well, I was home. I didn't have to work because I was home. They gave me like, I don't know, 5-6 months or whatever off and I had to burn through all my sick pay and
But like, wouldn't that kill someone?
Exactly.
Nah, you can build up
100 men.
This isn't a normal man, Zach.
No.
This is a man with a nut.
I can tell you more than one instance where it's been proven by medical professionals that my body is an amazing drug and alcohol filtering machine.
That's the clip right there.
Okay, as an example, so I go to the VA hospital, has an excellent spin dry, right? They'll take you in for 4 days, they'll feed you drugs, so there's no withdrawal, none of that shit, So I used to go and, I put a couple of liters of whiskey in the freezer and I go to a spin dry. And I go to the spin dry and I couldn't see any sense in lying to these doctors, what's the point? So I tell them the truth about my alcohol consumption. And he says, well, let's draw some blood. And he goes back out and he comes back in a while later. He says, well, your diabetes are out of control. We got to put you on insulin right now. And he gets this disgusted look on his face. I mean, he looked at me like just pure disgust. And he says, by the way, your liver's just fine. Like, what right do you have to a healthy liver, you stupid son of a bitch? You know? And I bit my lip. And luckily he left the room fairly quickly because I just bust up. I thought that was great.
Wow, we need to.
He's probably got like
your-
liver problems or something. He was just jealous. This mother.
You have the golden liver.
Well, I do. And actually, on either side of my mother or my father's side of the family, there's not one incidence of heart disease. Our bad cholesterols are rock bottom. And it's just got certainly nothing to do with my decision-making process. It's just genetics.
So do you think that like your organs would be worth like premium on the black market?
I would think not.
I'm kind of guessing probably not. You know.
What
But,
do you,
you know,
what do you
Joe's
think
liver into somebody, and it'll make them like they'll get drunk immediately or something.
Yeah.
It, like,
Just like be
backfires.
residual alcohol in there, and it'll
Your
like
liver
release into
would
their
be
body.
good to sell to like a distillery for like a fancy barrel of some liver whiskey, you know?
I don't know. Maybe before they leave the hospital, they'll get caught in a restroom running up hand sanitizer or something. I don't know.
Well, Dad, in closing,
Yeah.
any messages you want to leave with our audience?
Well, the quickest way to shut me down is to ask me a question. Message. If you're out there and if you think you've got an addiction problem, if you think you do, 9 times out of 10, you do.
Hear that, Zach?
It can be alcohol, it can be coke, it can be MDMA, it can be gambling, it can be porn. If you think you have a problem, you got at least a 90% chance that you do.
Okay.
What should people do then if we identify?
Yeah.
What's the first step?
Stop keeping secrets about yourself. Don't keep any secrets. Find someone you can trust and start giving all them secrets about yourself away.
Hidden thoughts poison life, man.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay to keep other people's secrets. It's just not okay to keep keep secrets about yourself, because I have this pyramid of maladaptive behavior, and at the bottom is my foolish pride, and the next level is secrets, and the level after that is fear, and the level after that is anger, and the level after that is hatred. Then comes resentment, then comes soul cancer. But between my foolish pride and my fear are the secrets that I keep about myself.
That's a big pyramid.
Yeah, it took me many years to figure it out. And it wasn't until a few months ago that I figured out that extra layer, the secrets between my foolish pride and my fear. I didn't, and I've been an addict a long time. So anyway, boys, I'm gonna go. Bye.
All right, Dad. We'll see you next
It's great
week.
talking to you, Joe.
A pleasure. Take care.
Yeah, my pleasure, boys. Bye.
See you, Joe.
See if I can actually shut this thing off.
Do you think that pyramid? Do you think it resembles at all the Bass Pro Shop in Memphis?
Yeah, that was a big pyramid he just rattled off.
Yeah, it's a very tall pyramid. I almost wanted to ask him who he thinks made the pyramids, but that would have led to another tangent.
That would have been
I wanted to ask my dad, who do you think really made the pyramids?
I
Zach,
had
you
so
gotta
many
call
questions for your dad.
He's made great strides, dude. The fact he's leading a group for teens, I mean, that's super admirable.
great.
Yeah, I didn't want to make
happy for
I didn't
him,
want to
and
make
it's
fun of
very-
that or anything.
More people need to do stuff like that, dude.
Yeah.
It's very
I'm glad he's trying to
aspirational
purpose.
for me.
Yeah.
It's very aspirational.
Thank
Zach.
you.
We know, Zach. You said the word wrong.
I do want to.
I didn't say the word wrong. I bit my tongue. Aspirational is a word.
There was no point for me to cut in about this, but I thought it was so interesting. The 11th prayer was like that's the one he gets hung up on. It's like the most like humanist one. It's like
That's
it's just
Saint
like
Francis.
it's like the Lord's prayer. It's like, oh, we'll live an eternal life with God. You know, like
all prayer to me, and I hope he doesn't listen to this part, but all prayer to me just they sound kind of silly.
yeah, but like the 11th prayer,
like out of the Bible, like the old text prayers or I think personal prayers are good.
yeah,
You know, when you freestyle it, you know.
Like
Uh-huh.
much like a
when-
personal
when-
pizza, you can get what you want.
When you spit some bars, you know. But all these Old Testament prayers are you know, they're hokey pokey, dude.
They're corny
Yeah.
to you. They're a little too corned out. I don't know.
They're a
This
little
one,
too corn dog.
this one's kind of nice. It's not like a huge fire. And
He's gonna
brimstone.
lay into me if he hears that too. And Dad, I'm not saying prayer's bad. I'm just saying that some prayers that were written thousands of years ago just sound a little corny to me, dude.
yeah.
There's not
I mean,
enough Zoomer slang in them for you.
They've
They
also
don't
been
use cap.
translated from like
They're
Latin
cap.
and stuff.
The old prayers are kind of
It's
cap,
cap.
dude. Old
Wait.
prayers are kind of cap.
I want to ask Zach something. You got a call from Aaron during the show.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, what was happening with that,
I know
Zach?
exactly what it was about. I mean, if you want to know what happened, you just follow Aaron on Twitter, and he documented all of it.
Yeah,
what,
there
what
was,
did he want to talk about?
He saw a car crash that
Yes.
was obviously the police's fault, so he called Zach, and
That's the first person he calls.
no,
besides,
probably the fourth, just to explain the same thing. You probably
I
called
literally
Square.
texted him, and I was like, "You are interrupting the podcast."
He wanted me to ask you about CM something.
Yeah, no one cares. I don't care.
Some wrestler, CM Marsh, CM
Punk.
Yeah, he wanted to
CM Marsh.
Where did that come from? CM Marsh?
say it was some monosyllabic thing. So CM Punk is a wrestler.
Monosyllabic.
You did something? I don't know.
I don't care, dude. My whole life, I just joined an online golf school, so that's been my whole life.
Oh hell
Okay,
yeah!
so let's talk
how
about
do you
golf.
do-
It's supposed to be a golf podcast. We're in the golf era.
Whoever said that?
Oh, I have a news bite.
What's going on, Bell?
Also, this is I Love You Mana, which is a podcast about golf and about
It's about hobbies and
alcoholic
lifestyles.
Yeah, and
It's
It's
too
about-
broad. It's
it's
too
sobriety.
broad.
It's about
too
getting
broad.
your nut. It's about getting your nut.
We
I-
need to, we
Sorry,
need to
Belly.
find an
Belly wanted to say
identity.
something.
We need to narrow it down. We need to drill
Why?
into the nut.
why, Zach? Stop. Why, Zach?
Yeah,
we're,
Zach,
We're all
Zach.
having fun.
We're all having fun. That's what it's about, Zach.
We're telling
we
our
don't have-
truths to each other. We're sharing. We're not
Yeah,
holding in secrets.
yeah, Zach. What's your pyramid look like?
What's our purpose? Why am I
Um,
here?
I have a
Zach,
follow up
no,
from last.
Zach. Just like the my dad's AA meeting with kids, no one's forcing anyone to be here. No one's forcing anyone to be here. We're all here to have fun and have a good time. All right.
You did take a phone call on air.
You did, Zach. You were gone for 20 minutes.
Well, it
Okay,
wasn't
but no,
20
go-
minutes. But also,
Okay.
it is important. Aaron Isaacs is part of the extended cast of characters.
Yeah,
I feel like
you can take a call from Aaron.
All
at
right,
any
go
time.
ahead. Go ahead, Belly.
Okay, my follow up from last week is if you listened to last week or watched last week, we talked about Disney's Lorcana. And
Yes, that I'm
Aaron-
interested in talking about.
Yes,
Are they
Aaron-
in trouble already?
well, I had yes, they are because their target demo that I had identified, i.e., my brother, a man in his mid 30s, a father, someone who has played Magic the Gathering his whole life, who taught. He's the reason I'm here. He taught
Yeah.
me Magic. He has a 5-year-old daughter who is obsessed with Disney, obviously.
Yeah.
Prime demo.
I let him know about Lorcana. He said he watched the trailer, like video in the game, whatever, the launch trailer, and he said it's not for him. He said he's not going to go in on it. I thought it was a home run. I thought it was a home run.
Can I tell you why?
Hold on, they're being sued.
Well, there's a couple things. The Lorcana with the company that's distributing it, it's never going to work. It's never going to work. It's not going to work. It might not. People that order it might not even get the stuff they order.
Wow.
You look at shipping globally right now. Anyone that's getting any sort of shipping done, they have a built-in thing. This company, they have a built-in structure. This company specializes in custom puzzles. Okay? They are comfortable with a very small customer base. They do not have a big customer base. So you have this influx of Lorcana. They're not going to be able to ship it out. They're not going to be able to ship it out. Even if there is a huge interest, they're not going to be able to ship it out.
Isn't this a good problem to have? They just have too much demand that they can.
No, because the customer is going to get mad, and then everyone is going to turn their back on it. Or it's going to be so much interest that they're not able to meet the demand, and they're just going to axe the whole thing, which I think is going to happen. I think that the initial orders are going to be huge. They're going to realize we're not Hasbro, we're not NECA, we're not Mattel, we're not Jax. There's no way we can meet this demand. And they're either going to go the digital route, which they should have done. It should have just been a mobile game. It should have just been it should have been a Marvel Snap. You should have just made this a Marvel Snap. Paper versus digital, there's two very different conversations there.
Okay, the hedge.
I do think...
Well, even with digital, it's like there's a lot of upkeep, but it's like with paper, it's like you have to get stuff to people, and then they have to play it together.
Yeah, which I do feel like there's a critical period where they're hoping to snag a huge chunk of Magic players, Pokemon,
They could just have a huge inventory anticipating this big boom, and then no one gives a shit about it. They're sitting on dead stock. They go bankrupt.
Yeah.
I do have some interesting stuff about this. They're being sued.
By who? By what? By Hasbro?
No, by a gaming company called Upper Deck. Upper Deck is suing Ravensburger.
Upper Deck is trading cards. Upper Deck is your baseball cards. Upper Deck is a big time player.
Well,
Ravensburg will be crushed.
Well, here's the thing.
But they have Disney behind them.
No, they don't.
What do you mean they don't?
Here's the thing.
It's a Disney licensing.
Yeah, so what? That doesn't mean you have Disney behind you. You have a licensing deal. That doesn't mean Disney's we're going to do all we can to make this right. Disney's got bigger fish to fry. Disney's going to be okay, you have the licensing deal. Now do it.
So here's the story here. There's a guy, Miller. Where's his first name? Ryan Miller. Huh. No, okay. So Miller, he worked for Upper Deck on this upcoming game called Rush of Icor, right? And apparently he left Upper Deck to work with Ravensburger. Now, it just so happens that Lorcana has some things in common with this upcoming Rush of Icor. So what they're alleging is this guy left Upper Deck, went to Ravensburger with Upper Deck stuff that Upper Deck was in development with game mechanics and stuff, and then brought them into Lorcana. So and it's the lawsuit was filed in June. So it's still ongoing and stuff. This is kind of interesting.
Yeah,
they're fucked, dude.
So if it becomes a liability for Disney, Disney might just say cut them loose.
Yeah, they're fucked. If they're already getting sued, it's a wrap, dude. Because Tor said, Disney's not going to put up with that. Disney's we have enough skeletons. We're not going to fucking let this shit get dredged up.
Yeah. And connected to the mechanics of Lorcana, here's why my brother was out on it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very curious.
Because it was too similar to Magic the Gathering. He said it was it's they just did a 1-to-1 ripoff. There's some sort of resource it's not called mana, but it's like you put it down one per turn, you tap it.
It's ink, they call it.
Yeah, there's ink, and it's like 20 life. It's like it's so close to magic that he was like, "What?" His main thing is, why would I teach this to my daughter? I would feel like it's as complicated as magic. I just want to teach her magic. Like I love magic. I'm just gonna wait till I can teach her magic.
Well, that's nice.
So they're going for the adult Disney demographic. That's
it's not
too complicated.
It's very similar, I guess, to magic.
You have to be.
Well, hold on. Here's the ink code. There's amber. There's amethyst. There's emerald. There's ruby.
There's 6.
There's sapphire and steel.
6. Wow.
Wait, that's directly ripping out. No, because magic, 5 colors technically.
6,
there's an artifact. There's colorless, and that's steel.
Yeah.
This is 1-to-1.
See, this is the problem too. Is like in business, what I've learned a lot recently with like the contracting job I've been doing is you have to be, you're either less than, you're better than, or you're different than. This is just a ripoff of magic.
Dude, this is
so
like
they fall into the less than category.
All right, I'm gonna read.
It's just
Ruby.
not gonna work.
I'm gonna read. Ruby is the red ink. Ready? This is what the descriptors it gives for Ruby. Ruby glimmers are daring. They use their speed and bravery to defy the odds. They are often warriors, explorers, and daredevils. That's red. That's fucking
That's Chandra.
Red.
That's Chandra, dude.
They used odds. They used that's just red. Is emerald?
Bro,
is emerald?
Imagine how riled up Mark Rosewater is right now. He's just fucking like
I bet you he doesn't care at all.
Yeah,
I bet you he's seen so many of these things come and go. Like
that's true.
Like it's just gonna be a hot fart. There'll be like collector's cards, like people will maybe get them for like their Disney toy display cases, but this isn't gonna go beyond an initial set. In my opinion, it's not even gonna make it to an initial set.
Well, the initial set's already coming out.
It's out.
So.
But let's see if people get it.
Well,
Are people getting it?
Yeah. Well, so for at least my Twitter feed and the people I follow and Magic Twitter on the podcast account, a lot of people are pretty into it. Not just speculators.
Like who? Name names, Zach.
I mean, at least
Shivam. What's Shivam's take?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know what Shivam's take is.
Okay.
I don't want to name names, but I have seen like tweets of people being like looking for 2 more Maleficents for my first Lorcana
this isn't
deck.
Good. See, this isn't good. You can't even name names. There's shame behind it.
No, I'm just like, whatever. I'm not even. I don't want to like dirty.
This
it.
business is gonna go tits up.
But like, I don't want to be on my podcast being like directing hate to someone who's enjoying Lorcana.
We're not directing hate. We're just saying they're stupid for liking it.
But the thing is, it does seem really popular. There's a lot of interest on future sets. I think they will make it to future sets, but I do think that Belly is right, that this is squarely aimed towards like Disney adults, Disney dads, and like.
And you think I'm right too?
I think it's going to make a ton of money, and I think Disney is going to be very happy with this. Honestly, I think that they're going to stick around. There's probably going to be around for a few years at least. Like
I don't know, man. Disney is kind of in peril right now. Like it's like
I don't see it. I don't think this is the right company that should be doing this. If they're already getting sued, like I don't think Disney gives a shit about this.
I think you're looking at it a little wrong, right? Like they're getting sued because this thing is printing money and people want to get in, right? And Upper Deck sees that they have a potential, way to get some of this huge payday that's coming to Ravensburger. I think the first few sets are going to sell extremely well. And I would be
So Zach, what's the bet here? What bet should we make between each other? What's the over/under for Lorcana going out of business?
Honestly, I would bet 5 years. I would bet that like for sure they will last longer than 5 years.
Really?
Yes.
He's just
willing to
bet that far in the future.
Okay. So you're saying if they go out in less than 5 years, you'll give me $1,000.
A grand? We didn't decide about $1,000.
Let's do it.
But
What you think it's the next great game?
I think it's going to be around for a while, for sure.
Okay, so on I Love You Mana 1,000,
Yeah.
roughly 5 years from now, we can adjudicate this.
6,000.
Okay.
I mean, what would you do, Mike? Would you agree on to a year? You think it's going to be done in less than a year?
Well, you said 5, so that's my wiggle room. That's my cushion. We have it here on record.
I mean, I do think honestly it's going to be around for 5 years at least.
All right. Well, get that.
That's a
check ready.
pretty. You're pretty bullish on this.
I
Get
think
that
it's
pocketbook ready, Zacho.
I think it's printing money.
That's
People are
what every
excited
new
for
thing
it.
does, though, bro. It has its initial boom. It's Beanie Babies, dude. What
This
happened to
has Disney
Beanie
behind
Babies?
it. This
Disney
has-
doesn't give a fuck, bro.
Also, fucking Beanie Babies are still fucking around. They
Ooh.
still make them.
Oh, they do? Well,
Yeah.
how much are they going for?
Doesn't matter. It's still successful.
They sell them at fucking Walgreens, dude.
So
They did go away
lot
for a
of-
while, I will say.
That's where
They
they'll
did
be
go away.
selling your ass.
Belly had a point though that like the Disney behemoth is kind of like faltering. Like Marvel's
In what way?
not making.
Is it because of the strike or what?
No, I'm like
Nah, the strike's
Flash was
awesome.
like the worst opening to a Marvel movie like ever.
The strike
like-
fucking rules, dude.
There's like I don't know. I'm just saying like there's cracks. You know, we maybe
Zach, everything you love as you know it is crumbling.
I don't care about Disney. Disney's gonna be fine. They'll find ways to pivot.
Nah,
I know.
once I become the CEO, I'm stripping that fucking company.
I
Can
mean,
we
if
just-
you become the CEO in the next 5 years, the chances of my bet paying out for me are very, very low.
Oh, I'll have you assassinated.
Jesus Christ. I will say like I'm not super like interested in like the longevity of this. I'm more interested in just the blatant ripoff. Like Sapphire, that's their blue ink. Glimmers are intellectual, intelligent, and creative. They excel at that's just blue. That's blue mana, dude.
So
This is-
the other thing that I find like
Look, they even look like magic symbols, dude.
I mean, they're more complicated. But
They're
yeah.
dude, people are going to prison for this.
So the other thing that I find kind of annoying, or maybe it's funny that like they're doing this so early, is if you look at a Lorcana card, there's kind of just a ton of text on it for like the first set, right? So like there's Moana and Stitch. Each one of them has like a sub name, like Stitch Lockstar here. Then there's this type line, which is Floodborn Hero Alien. What the fuck does Floodborn mean?
Do you think you would go 0-3 at a Lorcana draft, Zach?
It's quite possible. I went 0-3 at my first Flesh and Blood draft. I didn't know how to play.
I played golf with Sam Harriman, friend of the program today, and he said you were getting pretty salty.
I mean, it was not my best showing.
Well,
but-
well, how so, Zach? Because that interests me. What happened?
I mean, I did
We'll close
go,
on this. What happened? No. Well, what's this saltiness I hear about?
Well, I did go all 3 games in my matches, so it wasn't like I couldn't put up a fight. But I think some of my cars were a little underpowered. But that's okay.
Yeah, but
That
why?
happens.
But what kind of saltiness? That's what I'm interested in. Like, were you yelling at people? Were you slamming your fists on the table?
I mean, but come on, I'm not a child, Mike.
Well,
I'm not doing that
you
kind of stuff.
You do exhibit childish behaviors from time to time.
All right, you can chill.
I'm just interested on the saltiness.
The one thing that was salty was that there was one game in which I was solidly winning, and I was playing against like an aggressive, like I was playing this aggressive tempo blue-white deck, and I was playing against Clinton, who's playing an aggressive like blue-red deck that was splashing black, and I didn't know what the splash was. And then very late in the game, he plays this card that's like 3 mana, gain 2 life, or I think 2 life for each creature in target player's graveyard. So like he just gained 6 life, but we were racing, right? And so I had him like dead on board, but then he gained 6 life, and I couldn't really block his creatures well. And so I was like kind of going from winning to losing. And it's so rare that like a life gain spell like does that, right? It has to be just the right scenario. And also he was in this really aggressive deck, so that card wasn't really good for him, except for that exact scenario. And I was just like, God damn it, you have this terrible card in your deck, and it's like completely owning me right now.
Yeah, I
maybe
mean,
life gain's more powerful in Flesh and Blood. Though.
So that's when you snapped.
I didn't snap, but I was like kind of tilted.
See, Zach, why can't you talk? This is interesting.
I mean, I wasn't like, I did tell him like, that card sucks, bro. I can't believe you beat me with that card.
Yeah, okay. So,
but I didn't like, I'm not like flipping the table. I know that's what you want. You want me to say, yeah, I flipped the table, I slapped him, I did.
Zach, I want you to have fun, bud.
I
want you to
scorch the earth.
I want you to have fun. That's all I ever want.
Hey, I think I will as I pivot to being a full-time Lorcana content creator,
Lorcana
brand ambassador.
Oh, you're going to be a brand ambassador. You would look good in that little Mickey Mouse Fantasia outfit.
Yeah, that's pretty. I like the little outfit.
With the robe.
What are you saying, Tor?
I appreciate your optimism. Like it's easy to just like be like, this is. I mean, like I'm trashing this for being kind of derivative of Magic, maybe even 1-to-1 comparison to Magic. But like, Zach's got hope in his heart, I guess.
Yeah, and that's fine.
I'm not even a fan of this shit. But also, like Micah, he's I think he's probably taking care of his foster dog now or something. But like he's got
an emergency.
He's played like Kingdom Hearts, right? Which is this kind of inscrutable.
That game slaps.
Oh, I've never played it, okay? But it's a game where you have like freaking like Final Fantasy looking anime characters.
You know they got a Super Smash Bros for like Nickelodeon characters?
Yeah, like people like this shit. People like these kind of crossover things. People like feeling like they're rewarded for being part of a fandom.
Wait, what's the crossover-ish part of this though? Like, this is not. It's just Disney characters. Oh, I guess I see what you're saying. It's like the whole universe of Disney.
Yeah, and like eventually they're gonna probably rope in Marvel, and they're gonna.
What if I only want to play golf, dude?
Star Wars. Well, there's fucking golf cards if you want that.
No, I'm just gonna play golf. I don't need golf cards, dude.
I bet there is like a golf tabletop game.
Stop, dude! Don't get me interested in that.
Mike, you can live your life as you just need to provide more golf content for the podcast.
I don't got to provide shit. I got my dad, dude.
It's so much of the episode.
I got my dad on lock, and he's gonna be leading the charge for I Love You Mana into the new millennia.
So all I'm saying is
get your nut, folks. We'll see you next week.
All I'm saying is that like, don't underestimate the like appeal of this. The appeal of people who want to be like part of the fandom, want to like buy into like this kind of nostalgia.
Lorcana's dust, bro. Belly, any closing thoughts?
And it does have some like interesting gameplay. It's not a complete zero. It's not a complete ripoff. Yeah, there is some unique stuff.
It's Magic. Belly, what were you gonna say?
I was shocked by my brother's revelation. I think it's going to be a bust based off of that. I thought my brother was the perfect demo for this, and he's out on it. So that's my take. Bust.
Mm-hmm. Guys, we'll see you next week.
All right. See you later, guys.
I love you all.
I love you. Bob Iger.
We'll never be niche, dude. We'll never be niche. We'll never be niche down, dude. Joe Lester into the next millennia, dude.